Like, comment, and subscribe. And we're back with some more Marry My Husband, the web novel. And we're almost at the end. We have, 5 more chapters, maybe 6 more chapters of the main story. And then we have the spinoff for Hugh Yeon and Eunho. And I'm not going to really do a recap. I'm just going to jump into it. And we're on chapter 176, Mate with My Owner. I'm a magnificent cat. My name is Pang. Last name, Gom. So my full name is Gom Pangi. That is what I'm called now, but I used to be called Baby. My mom called me Baby, and so did my original owner. Isn't it much better than Gom Pangi, the name chosen by my tacky, tall owner? I'm sure all of you have realized it by now. This magnificent cat name can actually understand and speak the human language, but I can't be bothered to converse, really. So I pretend like I don't understand. I don't listen to the words of humans who pick up and eat my poop because they can't hunt for themselves. Regardless, I was able to understand and answer humans once. It was when I went to the cat star before coming back to the human world. Magnificent cats can return from the cat star 9 times. I learned this information there, but some cats are survived by their owners, so they don't return to the human star right away. Instead, they wait for their owners. They spend their time playing and eating well until their owners cross that rainbow bridge to come find them. Anyway, I will now grant you the honor of hearing my story in your human language. I believe humans call this story time. Wait, before that, let me finish my snack. I used to live with my mom, just the 2 of us. I had siblings, but they disappeared one by one. Mom said they went to the cat star in the heavens. Mommy's going to get something to eat. Stay here, okay? Okay. Don't follow other humans, no matter what. And more importantly, don't eat anything they give you, okay? My precious little baby. Mommy licked me clean from my ears to my toes. Then she went outside. I played in the exact spot she told me to. I even caught a fly by myself for the first time. I planned to show it to Mom when she came back, but she never did. The moon rose, then the sun, then the moon rose again, and then the sun rose again. Still, she didn't come back. I was hungry. I was curled up when a small praying mantis passed by. I felt like I could win against it in a fight. I had caught a fly on my own after all. Yeah! Attack! The praying mantis ran away when I swung my powerful fists at it. I chased after the insect with confidence. After chasing it relentlessly for a while, I ended up in a completely new location. Wait, where am I? There were lots of trees with a blanket of grass. What was this place, and where was I? Will Mom be able to find me here? I felt a little scared. I was hungry and sleepy on top of that, too. I figured Mom would come find me if I went to sleep and stayed in one location. I found the softest spot in the grass and fell fast asleep. I figured once I woke up, Mom would have already found me. I was in a deep sleep when I smelled something yummy. Groggily, I opened my eyes and shouted in surprise, "Meow! Meow!" I cried out, "Go away, human. If you don't, I shall rip you to shreds and bestow upon you a painful death." "Sorry, did I scare you, baby?" The human spoke in a gentle voice like my mom. How did this human know my name? And what was that delicious-looking thing over there? My stomach hurt because I hadn't eaten anything since Mom had left. "Are you hungry? Have this." The human reached towards me with that delicious looking thing. Mom said I shouldn't eat anything that the humans give me. What should I do? I contemplated her advice for some time before finding a good solution. Instead of them giving it to me, I'll just attack them and steal it away. I'm a brave kitty who caught a fly. I puffed up my tail as much as I could, just like when Mom chased the other cats away, and then clenched my 4 feet to reveal my claws. Yow! Put the food down and leave. That food is mine now. You must be scared. Here, I'll move further away. Clearly frightened by my threat, the human left the food and backed away. Just as I thought, humans were weak. Meow! Humans are so pathetic. I'll take this then. The food was really, really delicious. I was busy munching on the food and didn't notice as the human came close to me again. You're eating well, cute little baby. Nom, nom. You have your uses, human. I will spare you your life since you have brought me food. Eat lots, little baby. Nah, you're just a human. Don't tell me what to do. I'll bring you something to eat tomorrow as well. Let's meet over there, okay? My ears perked up. You're going to come here again tomorrow and offer me food? You must be really frightened of me, human. Meow. I will grant you permission to feed the magnificent cat, human. Aw, what a good boy you are. I'm Jiwon Kang. You don't have a name, right? She's been calling me by my name this whole time. And that's what she says? Humans really are foolish creatures. Your mom didn't abandon you. She's just away hunting, that's all. You're so sweet and adorable, right? I'll look after you until your mom comes back. How could this be? The human knew my mom was away hunting and that I was sweet and adorable. She wasn't just an ordinary human. Was this the owner that Mom told me about before? Baby, do not get close to humans. Your siblings went to the cat star after eating the food the humans gave them. Are all humans bad? Yes, there are only some who recognize the majesty of cats and serve them. We call them owners. Owners? I used to have an owner when I was young, but that owner betrayed me. They kicked me out of the house. That owner is a bad human? No, the owner was a good human. It's just that they had a new family member, so it became difficult to take care of me. Mom said that owner who kicked her out was a good human, thus owners must be good, no matter what. Humans are bad, owners are good. This human was kind, so she must be an owner. Meow. Fine, I shall allow you to be my owner. My owner took good care of me. She always brought fresh water and food for me. She even made a soft bed as well. Sometimes she brought along another human to help her. Once the human came by himself and gave me food. Where's my owner, pathetic human? The human did not answer. Unlike my owner, he did not seem to understand me. I was hungry, so I ignored him and ate the food. Immediately, it felt like the praying mantis I tried to hunt long ago had jumped into my stomach. I fell to my side. When I opened my eyes, I was in a white house. A human in white clothes, along with a tall human, were looking at me. Nah, it hurts. I miss my mom. Where is my owner, human? He woke up. Thank goodness you found him right away. He could have died. The tall human crouched down and sighed when the human in white clothes told him that. Thank you so much, doctor. I'm the one who's thankful. There are some people who do such horrible things to street cats. 9 out of 10 cats end up dying because of them, poor things. The human in white clothes shook her head and dared to touch my ear. I wanted to bare my fangs and scare her off, but I couldn't find the strength to do so. She continued, He'll need to be hospitalized for a few days to recover. The fees for that care will most likely be costly. Will that be okay? Yes, please do everything you can in order to heal him. Will you send him back to where he was once the treatment is over, or will you adopt him? What do you mean by that? The white-clothes human laughed. I'm asking if you want to keep him. When you take a pet home forever, you adopt them. Oh, a pet. The tall human mumbled, daring to touch my ear. The humans were especially insolent today. I'll adopt him. You made the right choice. The human in white did a strange move, clapping her hands together. Such indecent behavior. Then I'll add your name as his guardian on the chart. Is there a name you'd like to give him? A name? The tall human frowned. I told him my name. Meow. Baby. Gompangi. It's baby, human. Baby. Can't you understand? Huh? Gompangi? The white-clothes human asked. That's his name. Gompangi. Gompangi? As in fungus? How dare you give him such a pitiful name? How dare he give such a pitiful name to such a magnificent cat like myself? I truly miss my real owner who used to call me such a pretty baby. The tall human changed my name to Gompangi without my permission. I liked my original name more. I kept telling him my name was Baby, but the tall human could not understand me. Humans were foolish creatures, as expected. Anyway, I did not see my owner for a very, very long time. For the rest of my life until I left for the cat star. I will tell you how I went there later. I ended up staying at the tall human's shabby place. I didn't think I would ever stay at such a rundown house. There were no trees, grass, or insects to play with in this sparse house. There was a black, large, and squishy object that looked arrogant, so I showed it the taste of my claws one day. The tall human fell on his knees. Pang! You, my couch! Meow! You have finally witnessed my powers. You will meet the same fate if you do not serve me well. The tall human was tremendously incompetent. He couldn't even find his own food, so he took my poop every day. I should poop a lot for him. Still, he did a good job serving me. I decided to assign the human as my temporary owner. The temporary owner talked to me often. I didn't know what he was talking about, so I just pretended to understand. However, that foolish temporary owner seemed to think I understood everything he said. Is it good, Pang? The temporary owner offered me a stick made of meat. You know who I saw yesterday? Nyah! This is yummy. Will you give me this tomorrow as well? Jiwon Kang came to my office today. I don't think she recognized me at all. I guess we really didn't make eye contact long enough for her to remember me. The temporary owner dared to stroke my back quickly. I beat him with my front foot. I hope it hurt a lot. I told HR ahead of time if Jiwon comes to my department, I'll talk to her this time for sure. The temporary owner, who had managed to survive my super powerful cat punch, suddenly jumped up from the couch. He began talking to himself. Could humans see ghosts too? I looked in surprise, but there were no ghosts. Miss Kang, haven't we met before? Of course we haven't, damn it. The temporary owner pulled at his hair and spoke to himself again. If there's anything you're unclear about, you can ask me. It's not like I'm her direct boss. Why would she ask me? Meow. What's wrong with him? Is he hungry? I should go and poop for him. The temporary owner talked about Jiwon Kang every single day. Who was that again? The phrase felt like I've heard it before, but I couldn't remember when or where. But I didn't dislike it for some reason. She's good at her job, and her handwriting is pretty too. The temporary owner, who was out of his mind, spoke like a fool and even laughed to himself. She laughed today. The temporary owner looked extremely lonely as he said that last sentence. Because of that, I allowed him to touch my body, except for my tail. It's a good thing I didn't speak to her at first. I wouldn't have been able to make Jiwon laugh. Whenever our eyes meet, she lowers her head and avoids me. After that, the temporary owner did not smile anymore. Even when I allowed him to touch my back, only the corners of his lips would turn slightly upward. I lived with the temporary owner for a long, long time, up until he suddenly disappeared. After the temporary owner disappeared, the fat human who came to feed me showed up sobbing one day. Pang! Boss! Boss! Boss passed away. I knew boss was another name for my temporary owner, but what did passed away mean? Did humans go back to their star too? I did not eat my food. I didn't want to eat. I had to go back to the cat star without getting to see my owner or my temporary owner happy. There were some things I wanted to say to my temporary owner when I saw him again. I won't attack that thing you call a couch. I won't do it anymore. I won't push objects that are high up to the floor anymore. I won't hide and hunt your feet when you walk by anymore. I won't chew on the white strings that come out of the wall anymore. I will make you my real owner. So let's go back to Earth together. Oh, and that's the end of chapter 176. Oh my gosh. That is so sweet. I know in the webtoon they did the perspective of Pang. And now I see why, because I never read the web novel. So now I get it. That's why he was so affectionate towards Ji-hyuk the second time around. He used his third life to time travel back to him. Aww. This poor baby has been abandoned 3 times. That last paragraph. Pang 2. What a sweet time traveling family. I figured this as much. Poor baby, losing his family twice. He better be a time traveler too. Only thing I'll accept. Pang is the reason they all came back. I'm crying from a cat's POV. Pang thinks humans eat his poop. That shit is funny. That was funny. Oh. Pang straight up just called the onions ninjas. Yeah, that's a good chapter. That's a good chapter. So the next chapter is going to be chapter 177, If My Owner Mates. And I'll be back with that soon. Like, immediately. And we're back with chapter 177, If My Owner Mates. The one who came to me on the cat star was not my temporary owner, but an old human instead. As soon as the old human found me, he crouched down and grinned. It's you, right? Pang? Meow? You're a baby, you say? Sheesh. You couldn't say that if you had some shame. You're over 17 years old. I don't think you can call yourself a baby anymore. The old human laughed as he lifted me from the ground. Looks like he wants a taste of my ferocious claws. Nyah! Let go of me, human. Do as I say before I rip you to shreds and you meet a tragic end. Geez, why are you saying such gruesome things? Come on, I'll take you to your owner. Meow? My owner? That's right. Everyone's already there, and you're the only one left. You know who I'm talking about. That pretty girl is there. Go and live happily with her and that fella for a long, long time before coming back here. Meow! Nyah? You want me to live happily with my real owner and my temporary owner? Are they really back at my house? I'm telling you they are. Please take good care of my daughter and my son-in-law, okay, baby? Meow. I licked the old man's hand to show that he shouldn't worry too much. His hand was so hard, it was as hard as a pine tree with lots of scars. Still, it felt nice because it was warm. Aw, what a good baby you are. Let's go home now. The old man put me in a yellow car. I was lulled to sleep by the pleasant shaking. When I woke up, I found myself back at the shabby house where the temporary owner and I used to live. Oh, Jiwon's dad brought all three of them back. Sweet. Just as I promised, I accepted my temporary owner. And just like the old man said, as soon as I reunited with my real owner as well, and close by too. Sir, I think that's mine. Apartment 1305, right? As soon as I heard that voice, I realized who it was. I knew it was my owner, the one I had been waiting for. Luckily, the door happened to be open. I walked past the feet of the fat man, the fat human who gave me food sometimes, and approached my owner. Meow? Are you my owner? You are, aren't you? It's me, baby. Pang! Why did you come out? The fat man seemed surprised. Pang? The cat's name is Pang? No, my name was Baby. My mom called me Baby, and so did my owner. However, I didn't care whether she called me Pang or something else anymore. Meow! It's me, owner. You can pet me now. I rubbed my head on my owner's hand. I even let her touch my fat belly, which was off limits. My belly fat, which was off limits to everyone else. But even as she petted me, it still looked as though my owner didn't recognize me. Your noodles might get soggy. Owner stood up at the fat human's words. Right, I'm sorry. Peng was just too cute. No, it's me, owner. It's me. Don't go. Meow. Don't go, owner. I can't let you leave like this. Oh no, Peng, I can't, owner said. I'll see you next time and give you a good rubbing, okay? Meow, meow. It's not what I want. It's me, owner. Take me with you. I won't attack your couch. Later, I succeeded in entering owner's house. I had a strong will to never part from her again. She still didn't recognize me, but that was okay. The important thing was that we were together now. There used to be a pretty cat like you around here once, she said. What? Another pretty little kitty? Did you take in another cat, owner? But it disappeared. Someone must have taken it in because it was so small and pretty. I'm sure that cat is living well like you, right? Oh, she's talking about me. Meow? It's me, owner. I'm doing well. I missed you. The floor was warm. I caught a whiff of a nostalgic smell. It reminded me of my mom. The scent was coming from the owner lying on her side on the couch. I curled up next to her. I couldn't help but purr as if I were singing from how happy I was. I fell asleep for a while. When my owner came to find me, I wanted to stay with my real owner, but I couldn't just abandon my new owner either. Back when we had to part the first time, I realized that I also loved him as well. I ended up going back and forth between my owner and my real owner's houses. Things turned out to align with what the old human said as he brought me back from the cat star, but it was very different at the same time. Nya, that's strange. The old human told us to live together. So why are they living separately? A smart cat always finds an answer, and I was a smart cat. The answer I found was mating. Once they mated, they would have offspring. They would need to raise together. They must have been living separately because they hadn't mated yet. My owner and my real owner, since we've caught up on everything, I'll just refer to them as my male and female owners. My male and female owners were not living together because they hadn't mated yet. I ran over to my male owner as soon as I realized this surprising fact. Meow, meow, meow. Hey, owner, go mate with my female owner. Then the three of us can live together. Are you hungry? He asked. The male owner offered me food. I ate it for now. It tasted delicious as I chomped on it. Meow, 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 meow. Not that. I'm telling you to go mate. Your bathroom? I cleaned it just now. Humans truly were fools. Still, I didn't give up and kept waiting for the right opportunity. And that's when I felt it. Today's the day. My mate owner shed his fur to mate, and that useless shiny box is helping. The male waits for the right moment and attempts to mate. The female does not look pleased. The shiny box said, "Do that, owners, do that." I tried my best to convince them, but my female owner tried to get rid of the shiny box. Meow, hey, I was watching that. I tried to steal the stick that got rid of the shiny box. The female has finally accepted the mate. They will soon attempt to mate. The female has finally accepted the male. They will soon attempt to mate. Do that, owners. Start mating already. Once the two mate, you can have baby owners, and then we'll all live together. I was explaining everything to them excitedly when I remembered what Mom said when I was young. I used to have an owner when I was young, but the owner betrayed me and kicked me out of the house. That owner is a bad human. No, my owner was a good human. It's just that they had a new family member, so it became difficult to take care of me. Inside the shiny box, the two big cats started mating. Once the leopard goes into heat, they mate for several days with no rest. Today is the first day. What will happen if my owners mate and I get a baby owner? Will I be kicked out of the house since there's a new family member now? I went to the window and looked outside. Ever since I started living with my male owner, I had never been outside. I never wanted to go back outside. This place was shabby but warm, boring but cozy, and above all, there was an owner who took care of me. If my owners had a baby owner, I lay down on my sunny spot and curled up. Having a baby was a joyous event. That's what Mom said. If that were true, my owners would be happy to meet their baby owner as well. My male owner, who used to be sad every single day, would finally be happy. Then that was fine. As long as the two of them were happy, I would be happy. I'm a courageous cat, so I can live outside on my own. I clenched my feet to take out my claws. My male owner had cut them yesterday, so the ends were round. I won't let him cut my claws from now on. I'll need them to be sharp if I'm going to hunt outside. I imagine myself catching a fly and swinging my feet into the air. Aww. Pang's even given up on living in the shabby house, even though it's not shabby at all to us stupid humans. It all makes sense now. He came back to the point where Jiwon just moved in and she met Sinu when she ordered food, and Pang ran outside and he was being really affectionate to her. And he kept trying to, he wouldn't leave her alone. And he was being really sweet to Ji-hyuk. The part with the TV is the part where he kept talking about the idiot box. Well, he wasn't calling it the idiot box. We call it an idiot box, but he was calling it the shiny box. And the stick is the remote. When Jiwon kept saying, "Oh my God, why is the TV stuck on this channel?" And every time she would turn it, it was like she was embarrassed because Ji-hyuk was taking a shower and he comes out naked. So Pang really did set that up. Because Jiwon was like, "Oh my God, this is embarrassing." I remember. I forget what chapter that was, but that's so funny. Because she was so embarrassed. Okay. That's so funny. All right. Okay. Kitty, good morning. Good morning, kitty cat. Did you have a dream? As usual, the kitty owners came looking for me. As soon as they woke up, it couldn't get more annoying than this. Meow. Did you two sleep at all? Go back to sleep, please. The most frightening thing about them was that I couldn't attack them with my ferocious teeth and claws. I wasn't sure why, but I just couldn't. They cried so loudly when they used to lie around all day, so much that I couldn't wait for them to grow up. But now that the baby owners could walk well, I realized it had been better when they were lying down crying. "Kitty, where are you going?" They looked the same, so I couldn't tell who was who. Anyway, one of the baby owners came running at me. He grabbed my precious tail. I struggled as I called for the mommy owner. "Meow, meow. Mom, help! This kid just grabbed my tail." "Jinu, I told you can't pull Pang's tail like that." Mommy owner, the kindest and smartest one in this house, ran over and scolded the baby for me. The baby owner seemed upset that his mother scolded him. Soon he squatted down and began to sob. He sniffed, rubbing snot from his nose. Why was he crying over something like that? Human babies really were pathetic. And he was crying so noisily, too, that it was hard to ignore him. I sighed deeply and licked the baby owner's face clean. The baby owner stopped crying right away and hugged me tightly. "Kitty, let's play." "No, Kitty's going to play with me." "No, he's going to play with me." "I'm not going to play with either of you. I'm going to play by myself. Let go." "Jinu, Jinwan." Thank goodness, the daddy owner came and carried the two baby owners inside. "Hurry and eat your food. You'll be late for daycare." While the baby owners ate their food, mommy owner ran out of her room. "I'm going to work, honey. You know grandfather and Hugh-Yeon are coming over tonight, right?" "I know. Drive safely. Text me once you get there." "I'll see you later. Love you." "Love you too." The mommy owner rubbed lips with the daddy owner and hurried outside. Afterward, daddy owner filled my bowl with food and then carried their babies back outside. I was finally able to rest quietly, so I laid down on my sunny bed, stretching out my arms and legs. Nyah! Today was exhausting as well. I'm going to get some sleep before the baby owners come back. I felt much better once I took a good nap. I chewed on more of my food and drank the fresh water until I was full. My fur seemed a little messy, so I licked every corner of my body carefully and let it dry in the warm sun. If only I could rest like this by myself. There were suddenly 3 loud beeps. I knew what those meant. They were back already. "Come inside, grandfather. Kids, you need to take your shoes off." "I'll take them off for them." "Oh, you little angels." Today the grandfather was here. I went over to say hello. I was a cat who had manners. Nyah. "Hello, human." Tisk, tisk. "You still have that furry animal around the house?" "He's family. This furry animal will live with us forever, right, Pang?" "Meow." "You're absolutely right, owner." "I'll wash the kids' hands, Jiwon. Let's go to the bathroom, kids." "Let's go." The sister owner, who came by from time to time, led the babies away. The babies chased me less when she was around. I was in a good mood, so I marked my scent onto the grandfather. "Look at that. He knows I'm talking about him." The grandfather petted me and laughed. "Our Pang understands everything we say. Come here, pretty baby." Nyah, Mommy. I immediately went into mommy owner's embrace, rubbing my face all over her. She felt cozy, warm, and happy. I felt like a fool for thinking someone as great as this mommy owner would ever kick me out of the house. "I'm home, grandfather." The daddy owner came back. I thought about going to greet him too, but pretended not to notice him by burrowing into mommy owner's embrace. It was for the best because the baby owners came running in, immediately latching themselves onto each of daddy owner's legs. "Daddy, Dad's here. Daddy, Jimon hit me today." "You little rascals, be nice, you two." The daddy picked up both of the kids with one arm each. The mommy scolded him. "Go wash your hands first, honey." "Yeah, I just had them wash their hands and now you made them dirty again." "I didn't wash my hands yet, so I'll take them with me." "Yes, grandfather." I thought back to the olden days when I watched them in the arms of my mommy owner, back when daddy owner and I lived in a shabby house, and he didn't smile as he did now. Meow. This pleases me. I'm happy I have so many owners. I am the world's happiest cat. I am happy because all the humans who serve me are happy. But who was the old human who brought me back from the cat star? And that's the end of chapter 177. So cute. So cute. The first part of Pang's story kind of, I did get a little misty-eyed. I didn't cry like I did a few chapters back with G1. But this one was good. The conclusion, because all the conclusions are great now, unlike it before. It's so good. Let's see some of the comments. It's so sad to think about how many pets are abandoned because their humans aren't actually willing to take care of them alongside babies. Yeah, that is sad. Mommy owner rub lips with daddy owner. What a wonderful second life baby has. Yes. Everybody has a good second life, thankfully. I love Pang. Oh, Pang. Let's see. I really enjoyed the POV from Pang. It was very nice to see how he saw Ji-hyuk go through his struggles and try to cheer him up. It made me so happy to see that Pang was able to come back and get reunited with Ji-won and live happily with both his owners and the new ones he got. I love this side of the story from the cat's perspective. I wonder how my chunky fuzzball thinks. Yeah, because you think, like, the perspective of your animals. Yeah, that's cute. For a majestic cat, he's more self-sacrificing than expected, right? But yeah, that was a really good chapter. Up next is chapter 178, Bakja coin. And I don't think I said it last chapter, but if you liked the video, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Out of the two chapters, what part is your favorite? Mine, Pang in general is very funny. This one, he cracks me up when he's talking about, man, I liked it better when they were babies and they couldn't move and they weren't bothering me. And how he was even willing to give up living. He'd go outside if they could both be happy. To see both Ji-hyuk and Ji-won being happy with their babies, he would be fine with going outside, even though that's not what happened. Him being sacrificing that, that was really sweet. Even though they weren't going to do that to him. Because you know how they always say cats are selfish, but that was really sweet. But yeah, I'll be back with chapter 178. Talk to you then. Bye. And we're back with chapter 178, Bakja coin. Bakja coin. People who were not very interested in economic news or what was going on in the world asked this in confusion when they heard this term. Bakja coin, what's that? At this point, if you went on and on about cryptocurrency or mining, you would end up labeled as a boring person. So it was best to answer thusly. It's cyber money. You can buy pizza with it. If you wish to look like a foolish person instead of a sane one, or if you were afraid the other person would ask you to lend them some money, all you had to do was add this. This currency is going to make me a millionaire. It's worth over 200k won each. It's worth over 200k each right now, but in a few years, it's going to be worth tens of millions of won. I'm spending all the cash I have on it and even get a mortgage to collect Bakja coin. If you want to be cussed out as a daughter, foolish enough to believe the words of a politician or a son who is going to end up begging on the streets from gambling, you could say these things in front of your parents. You could become the greatest disgrace to your family by saying it. You could even watch as the old threat, "I'll disown you from this family," came to life before your very eyes. Jiwon was doing these very things that could get her cussed out step by step. "I'll just buy 50 for today." After checking the previous day's trade amount and various news sources, the number that Jiwon decided upon was only 50 bakja coins. At today's market price, nearly 1.5 million won was converted into bakja coins and saved on an electronic wallet. Of course, if Jiwon and Jihyuk combined their assets, it was possible to easily exceed the amount of bakja coin traded in Korea in a day, meaning she still didn't have to buy little by little. She didn't need to buy dozens of them a day, or at the most a couple of hundred. However, Jiwon did not approach this so simply. The amount traded had an effect on the flow. Even if she kept casually collecting them one by one and went with the flow of the market, she would save as much money as she needed. The 50 coins she bought today would be 20 million won per coin in 5 years, which was 1 billion won. Money really is the best. Jiwon looked at the bakja coin she had collected so far with a pleasant expression. She sold all her stocks that had increased by hundreds of millions of won that she'd bought with her father's consolation money and loans. Now she planned to take out a mortgage. That money was enough to buy bakja coins and spend them on what she wanted to do. "You're very diligent doing this every single day," Ji-hyuk said. He brought a cake and tea he'd prepared into the study after putting the children down for a nap. "Of course, I need to keep collecting them." "What do you plan to do with all of them?" "I won't tell you, no matter how many times you ask. I'll let you know once I've saved up enough," Jiwon teased. Ji-hyuk asked as he cut the cake, putting a piece inside Ji-hyuk's mouth. Even though the only sweet he only ate was chocolate containing more than 80% cacao, he ate everything Jiwon put in his mouth. He would eat sweet macaroons and cake without any hesitation, and he'd say this with a smile. "It's delicious when you feed it to me, Jiwon." She fed him because she liked hearing him say that. Jiwon enjoyed a relaxing afternoon while munching on the cake and the tea that Ji-hyuk brought her. There's cream on your lips," Ji-hyuk said. He rested his chin in his hand as he stared at Jiwon as he smiled. "Where?" "On the right corner." Jiwon stuck out her tongue and licked the corner of her lip. "Is it gone?" "No, it's not." It had been 3 years since their wedding. However, her husband's eyes constantly heated up as if only 3 days had passed. His gaze turned naughty. "I bet it is." "I told you, it's not." The rotating chair where Jiwon sat turned halfway. Ji-hyuk's hand was on the back of the chair and the other was on Jiwon's cheek. The kiss that followed tasted like a sweet cake. The sigh that escaped between their tightly interlocked lips belonged to Ji-hyuk. The soft, desperate kiss made her head heavy. Jiwon reached her hand into Ji-hyuk's t-shirt, letting her instincts lead her. Ji-hyuk released a suppressed groan as her hand swept down his side, which was still sleek and firm. Was this the sex appeal of a married man? Jiwon moved her finger a little upward, rewarded with hearing more of that tantalizing sound. As her fingers traveled up between the strong dips of his chest and touched a sensitive area, his hard muscles trembled like convulsions. "We should go to bed," Ji-hyuk whispered, as he chewed lightly on Jiwon's bottom lip. But at that moment, the cell phone that was on the bed. The cell phone that was on the desk started buzzing. You can tell where my head is. With a frown, Ji-hyuk glanced at the caller and flipped the phone over. Who is it? It's Senu. Why aren't you answering it? This isn't the time for that. What if it's urgent? There's nothing more urgent than this. His words, which truly sounded urgent, woke up the playfulness inside of Ji-won that had been deeply seated all of this time. Ji-won stretched out her arm as she pretended to kiss him again and quickly answered the phone. Hello, boss? Sinu's voice sounded enthusiastic as usual as it rang out from the phone. Ji-won put the phone to Ji-hyuk's ears. He was at a loss for what to do. Oh, hey. Ji-hyuk's hands were tied, and now he had no choice but to hold his phone. I'm at the Incheon location right now. We had a contract for 30 workers, but now the client is asking for 10 more. What should we do? Ji-won tugged his white t-shirt up in earnest and lightly bit him. Ji-hyuk lightly sucked in a breath, then spoke plainly. How many men are left in the office right now? There are only 5 left. What about those who are off duty? Anyone who can work right now will be paid 1.5 times more and guaranteed off-duty hours later on, he said, his voice low and heavy. Ji-hyuk had a thick vein as big as a pinky finger sticking out of his arm. Ji-won wrapped her arms around his neck and pulled him over to lick his lips. Their silent kisses were so thrilling they sent shivers down their spines. I checked earlier, and we can get 3 workers to come now. 2 are in the countryside right now. Mischievous hands traveled down Ji-hyuk's spine. He instinctively bent down and grabbed the desk from the strong sensations that went straight up to the top of his head. Sorry, what's wrong, boss? Oh, I'm just working out right now. It wasn't exactly a lie. He was about to work out soon. Ji-hyuk continued the call while nibbling on Ji-won's neck, who was clearly feeling bolder and more mischievous than usual today. Call the place that provided us with workers last time. Ask for 10 people if possible, and if not, ask for 5. Should we tell the client we'll be using outside forces? The scent of shampoo from Ji-won's hair made Ji-hyuk's head feel like it was in a haze. He raised his head and peeled off his thin t-shirt with one hand. It wasn't even a hot day, but his back was already wet with sweat. Of course. By the way, shouldn't Cholhong be taking care of this? Bare legs glowed seductively under Ji-won's skirt. They looked even smoother in contrast to the dark wooden desk. Ji-hyuk moved his hand along her skin that clung smoothly to his palm. He's negotiating with the client right now, so I called you instead. Okay, take care of it and text me the results. Got it, boss. Enjoy the rest of your workout. Ji-hyuk pressed the end call button before Sinu could finish his words. Ji-won couldn't hold back anymore and burst out laughing. You need to focus when you're working. Why were you so distracted? Where did you learn to do such naughty things? Ji-hyuk bit her pale earlobe a little hard and swept over the desk with one hand. The notes, pens, cell phones, and newspapers on it fell onto the floor. Now the clean desk was all for Ji-won. Ji-won gasped as he lifted her like a doll to sit on the desk, grabbing at her skirt that was riding up too high. Shh! The window is open. Ji-hyuk was right. The window was about halfway open. The thin linen curtain would not be able to stop sounds from escaping. Ji-won twisted her body and hit Ji-hyuk's chest with her fists. Are you some kind of perv? Why are you doing this on the desk? What else would we do on a desk? Her playful punches were too weak to cause pain to his thick muscles, and no matter how much she twisted her body, it was like a chick flapping its wings for Ji-hyuk. Jiwon gathered the dress that had been taken off too easily with Ji-hyuk's free hands and held it in front of herself to cover her body. The kids were going to wake up soon. They'll be asleep for another 30 minutes if we hurry. How can you say something like that without even blushing? What did I say? Ji-hyuk took the dress and dropped it on the floor, kissing Jiwon's lips twice. Should I be blushing from 2 kisses? Then that's all for now. Don't even try anything else. Are you sure about that? Their kisses became deeper. Jiwon reached her arms back to stop her body from falling back. It felt like she would slip off the glass with one wrong movement. Good thing we brought a big desk. Why was he saying that in such a seductive way? Jiwon panted, looking at Ji-hyuk with a dreamy gaze. Then a question she had a long time ago came to mind. Ji-hyuk? Yes? Where did you learn all of this? What do you mean? You know, all of this. I don't understand. You know, this and that. How to make someone feel good. Does it feel good? Ji-hyuk grinned. Soon after he said that, the heavy and sturdy desk couldn't overcome his strength and thumped a little on the ground. Just like he said, it was a good thing they bought a big desk. I read the theory in a book, Ji-hyuk spoke slowly in her ear. When their movements died down for a moment, and as for the real thing, I just did what I wanted to. Are you the type, Jiwon gasped, that learns things fast? There hasn't been anything I wasn't able to learn. Ji-hyuk pulled Jiwon a little with his strong arms and stuck her close to his body. She was so lovely that he just wanted to swallow her up and chew on her bones. Should we go shopping tomorrow? Ji-hyuk whispered with a heated breath. Why all of a sudden? You're so beautiful. I want to give you something, everything. All I want is you, but if you insist, Jiwon boldly held Ji-hyuk even closer. Give me some money and cash. Why money? I want to buy more bakja coins. Ji-hyuk kissed the red-faced Jiwon as she smiled. Take as much as you want, he whispered, but please be in the study again tomorrow. These two are... That's the end of the chapter. These two are little rabbits, and I love it. Especially how, while she was healing, and I'm pretty sure, I feel like Minwon probably wasn't a very good lover. He's probably very selfish, honestly. So some of the comments, they are so naughty. I love it. If I got sent to the past, buying Bitcoin would be the first thing on my to-do list. Exactly that. I bought Bitcoin. I bought like maybe, because I was like, this shit's fake. And I think I spent like maybe $20 and I forgot about it until it started getting popular. And I was like, damn, I wish I really would have put more money into it. Because when I went to it and I was like, oh, maybe I should cash it out, because it was when they were talking about taxing it. It was only like $200, but still, that was only $10. It was $10. And I was like, damn, if I'd have really put like more money into it, I really could have had something. But I was like, well, I wasn't comfortable with at the time, and I wasn't researching it. I was just like, let's just try it out real quick and see what happens. And I'm not giving you all my money, but yeah. Anywho, but if the me now could go back then, I'd throw hella money. But anyways, the next comment. This chapter was hot. I don't feel like I gave it enough hotness, but when I read it before I recorded it, I thought it was hot. I really like your story, author. I'm so happy for Jiwon and Jihyuk. They seem so happy together. Pang's story was very cute too. Everybody's leaving all their love for the author because the story's wrapping up and it's so sweet. And it's nice that you get that with a digital story because, with a book, you don't really get that when like when you publish the story or like with the book, because you get it all at one time. Like with a physical book, they'd have to go to a website and then leave their comment, and that might not happen. Whereas like when you get done reading the chapter, you can be like do 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 and leave how you feel at that time. But anyways, the digital age. I really like your story, author. I'm so happy for Jiwon. Oh, I just read that one. Are bakja coin a real thing? We're just going to skip over that. I am dropping this story. Honestly, I found it not so good. I'm going to skip over that. A man who will buy you cryptocurrency is a man worth keeping. Blushing red. Some people want roses or expensive jewelry, while others just want Bitcoin. I love this couple. Cute. All right, so we're going to go back. And that's the end of chapter 178. The next chapter is 179, Goodbye, UNK. If you like the comment, don't forget, or if you like the chapter, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. I'm not going to even ask. What was your favorite part of the chapter? It was spicy. I liked all of it. And we're back with chapter 179. Goodbye, UNK. Amid the alarming surge in cryptocurrency using blockchain technology, there is a boom in investment in bakja coins. This boom is especially among young people shouting, "Let's go!" Some economists and analysts are skeptical about money without a physical form. Jiwon looked at the graph that had no sense of stability, recalling the number of bakja coins she collected over the years. She had collected a total of 9,000 bakja coins. The current market price was 17 million won per coin. Within the end of the year, it would surpass 20 million won. That was enough. It was almost too much. Jiwon started giggling uncontrollably. Joran snooped over the partition when she heard Jiwon's proud laughter. Did something good happen, Miss Kang? There's always something good happening. In the winter of 2017, when everyone was excited, there were so many good things happening, so many that there wouldn't be enough time to list everything if someone stayed up for about 3 nights and 4 days. Recently, Joran was promoted to department head, and Hugh Yeon was appointed as the division director of the Global Special Marketing Division. She was the top contributor for entering the halal market. Everyone was extremely healthy, including Chairman Yu, who was almost 90 years old. Don't look so happy about whatever it is. I'm feeling so sad. Joran pouted as she chastised Jiwon. Are you sad? Of course I am. We've been working together for years now. Jiwon was also well overdue for a promotion, but she had refused it herself many times. The most recent time was because of the plan she'd made while collecting the bakja coins. Jiwon handed in her resignation a few months ago for this plan. Joran had rejected the resignation letter several times before eventually accepting it. Today was Jiwon's last day at UNK. It was obvious Joran would show her sadness up front. It's not the end just because we don't work together anymore. Jiwon tried to make Joran feel better by using an affectionate tone. I'll come over during lunchtime so we can eat together. We can go to a cafe afterward too. On Friday nights, we have a nice glass of beer, and on weekends, we can take our kids somewhere nice to eat. Of course, we're already going to do all that. Joran's eyes were red as she chastised Jiwon again. Jiwon pretended not to see that and said brightly, "It's been a long time since everyone had dinner together. I'm excited." Joran slightly rubbed her eyes and joked back, "My mom's really excited too. You better eat 5 portions of meat, otherwise you can't go home." Tonight was Jiwon's last company dinner. The restaurant was Joran's BBQ place. Hugyeon would have danced with joy at the location, but unfortunately, she had been living in Indonesia ever since the new business began in earnest 3 years ago. What wasn't unfortunate was that Hugyeon took Jong-uk with her. She promised she would remove the bomb for Joran. Now that the main nuisance of the office was gone, Marketing Division 1 enjoyed bringing in and training new employees who were motivated and good at their jobs. Jiwon was first to arrive at the BBQ restaurant in Joran's car. Yeonji was making a snowman alone in the garden. When she saw the car pulling in, she ran to hug Joran around her waist. "Welcome back, Mom." "What are you doing here, Princess? What about your grandpa? Where is he?" "I came with Grandpa." "Oh, Auntie Jiwon is here too." Yeonji was in elementary school now and had no problem saying Auntie Jiwon, but she still called her Auntie Jiwon. It had become a habit, so it was more comfortable for her. "Hello, pretty little Yeonji. How have you been?" "I've been good. You know, Auntie. I completed my math workbook all on my own today. I even finished reading a book after I solved all the problems." Yeonji's eyes sparkled with the need to be praised. All 3 of Jiwon's kids were sons. They were the apples of her eye, of course. She loved them with all her heart, but she couldn't help but wish sometimes she had had a daughter, like Yeonji as well. "Really? All by yourself? Grandpa didn't help?" "Of course. I'll be in 4th grade soon." "Wow, is that true?" Time went by so fast, Jiwon could still recall Yeonji calling out to her as she toddled over. Just when a familiar car entered the parking lot, Yeonji, who was still clinging to Joran, sprinted towards the car as soon as she saw it. "Mr. Lee!" "He's Mr. Lee, not Mr. Lee." "No, Mr. Lee is Mr. Lee." "Hey, when are you going to stop calling me Mr.? Once you marry my mom?" Jiwon's eyes widened. What the heck? What is this, Hollywood? How is everyone so chill with a comment like this? What was more surprising were Joran and Jonsuk's reactions. "Yeonji, I told you not to say stuff like that around other people, didn't I? Auntie Jiwon isn't just anyone. I can't get married on my own," Jonsuk said. "You should try convincing your mom." You're the one who should do the convincing. Why should I?" The 3 people passing through the snowy garden spoke affectionately to one another. They looked like a loving family, a mom, a dad, and an only daughter. Jiwon stopped walking and looked at the back of the 3 of them, overcome with an emotion that was hard to explain. It was strangely touching. It felt like she was going to cry a little, but at the same time, something fluttered in her chest, making her smile. Just then, quiet footsteps approached from behind Jiwon. "Aren't you going inside?" "Ji-hyuk!" Surprise spread across Jiwon's face, and she smiled brightly. "How did you get here?" "In a car." The bright smile faded a little from Jiwon's face and then came back. "What about the kids? Is the nanny looking after them?" "Yes. She said she'll stay late tonight. Senu is there as well." "If Senu's there, the house must be a total mess." Last year on their wedding anniversary, Senu looked after the 3 sons so they could have a date night. Once they returned, Ji-hyuk ended up cleaning the house from 11 p.m. to 3 a.m. After that, Jiwon thought they made a silent agreement to never have Senu look after their sons again. "I've prepared myself for your farewell dinner, Mrs. Kang. Let's go inside. Your nose is red." Ji-hyuk bit the tip of Jiwon's nose lightly with his warm lips. Jiwon's entire face turned red when Joran turned around up ahead of them and saw them like that. Soon the other co-workers gathered as well. One side of the second floor of the BBQ restaurant, which could be combined into one big floor, was filled with office workers wearing ties. When everyone seemed to have gathered, Joran got up and clapped her hands. Everyone's here, right? Raise your hand if you're not. Oh, hey, I see someone over there who quit as well. Let's clap for the couple who quit. Wow, the couple who quit? You two are the dream and hopes of every office worker. Give us a speech. While everyone laughed and chattered, the sliding door to the end at the end opened. The hungry office workers turned around thinking the meat was finally here, but they experienced shock and despair instead. Chairman? Sir? Jiwon turned her head at those words, standing up in surprise. Sir, what are you doing here? I heard you're holding the company dinner here tonight, so I stopped by. Since I'm a member of UNK, I have the right to be here, don't I? Chairman Yu asked in a serious tone without a hint of a smile. The poor office workers shouted together, forgetting their hunger. Yes, of course you do, sir. Oh, man. Jiwon saw Mr. O apologizing with his eyes next to Chairman Yu, who sat in the middle of the table, not in the seat of honor. The company dinner began in an atmosphere that was more cautious and solemn than ever before. Meanwhile, Chairman Yu ordered Korean beef short ribs cooked to a medium rare and was applauded for it. Red coals in a silver grill were set on each table. The bright red meat with white marbling that looked like entangled spider webs filled the grills in an orderly manner. The new ambitious employee was at the same table as Chairman Yu. He had to grill the meat while being the most nervous since joining the company. It was around that time, when the smell of meat cooking was seeping into everyone's clothes and hair, suddenly all the lights in the room went out. It was a faint-worthy event for the new employee. Did the lights go out? What about outside? Sir, all the lights have gone out. The door opened again whilst everyone was confused. Happy resignation! The silhouette of a tall, long-haired woman glided from the darkness. Outside. Happy resignation! The woman held a large cake with both hands. On top of the huge 2-layer cake, some resignation candles shone subtly in the darkness. Happy resignation, dear Jiwon. The woman knelt and held out the large cake to Jiwon. Happy resignation to you. Wow! Everyone applauded excitedly with envy and congratulations. Jiwon blew out the candles amid the pouring applause and congratulations from her former co-workers. When the lights were turned back on, Hugh Yeon stood there. She looked healthier with a tanned face, and Miss Cha, who had a fierce-looking smile, was behind her. Miss Cha, how did you get here? We took the plane. That's right, we did. Ji-hyuk and the mother and daughter duo, who were family but not related by blood, however, seeing as how they could be similar like this sometimes, there must be something stronger than blood between the three. I couldn't miss out on your farewell dinner, Miss Kang. Oh my gosh, who grilled this meat? Miss Guardian Angel's meat needs to be cooked to a medium rare. While Hugh Yeon made a big fuss looking for the tongs, Miss Cha whispered in Jiwon's ears, I was going to congratulate you quietly at home, but Ji-hyuk told me his grandfather was coming here, even though I told him 1,000,000 times he shouldn't come. I knew everyone must be too nervous to eat, so I came to fetch him. Jiwon looked with pity at the new employee in charge of Chairman Hugh. He looked like he was about to faint and nodded. Thank you, Mother. You're the best. Aren't I? Miss Cha eerily swept through Jiwon's hair with the tips of her red nails. The employees next to her thought that Jiwon was being threatened. Let's have a drink. We should at least let him have a glass of soju since he was so excited about this dinner, Jiwon said. They must have been thinking the same thing because Hugh Yeon shook the bottle of soju left and right before opening the lid. Since I'm back as a full-time employee, I'll pour everyone a glass. Let's go around in a circle for old time's sake. Oh. As expected of Miss Yu-Yeon, does everyone have a glass? Then let's start with today's guest of honor, Miss Kang. Go! At the start signal, Jiwon emptied the soju glass and shook it off on her head. Next, it was Ji-hyuk's turn. Even Miss Cha unexpectedly had to join in. It was finally Chairman Yu's turn. I'll have a glass as well. Chairman Yu held a soju glass and made a toast to Jiwon. It is a great loss as the owner of to have a talented employee like you leave UNK. In other words, you'll be going beyond the boundaries of UNK now, and you'll be able to do more for our society and our Mr. O, who only spoke the truth, got close and whispered to Chairman Yu, "Sir, you're bringing down the mood. Please start drinking." Chairman Yu cleared his throat and emptied his glass of soju. Anyway, step forward into a brighter world now. Congratulations on your resignation, Miss Kang. Chairman Yu shook his empty bottle of soju over his head. The wave of people taking shots resumed. Under the table, Ji-hyuk's big and warm hand found Jiwon's hand and clasped it tightly. Congratulations on your resignation, Miss Kang. Only Ji-hyuk's voice sounded clear to Jiwon in the bustling noise. Let's move forward together. Whatever you wish to do, I'll always be there for you. Thank you, Department Head Ji-hyuk Yu. Jiwon leaned slightly on Ji-hyuk's shoulders. It was warm and broad. I'm not a department head anymore. You're my department head. Department Head Ji-hyuk Yu, in charge of Jiwon Kang Division. Yu-yeon accidentally overheard their whispering and twisted in a dance of pain. She must have learned something in Indonesia because her dance had even more soul now. Now, let's listen to Miss Kang's speech and take a shot, everyone. Was everyone planning on dying tonight? As soon as everyone went around in a circle, the soju glasses were filled again. Jiwon smiled bashfully and raised her glass high. Keep thriving, my first and last company. I won't say much. The place where I met the most precious people in the world. For the bright future of the world's top food company, UNK and former manager Jiwon Kang. Cheers! The bitter soju went down easily like water. Jiwon enjoyed this moment as she put a piece of meat Ji-hyuk placed into her mouth. Goodbye, UNK, and hello to my new life. And that's the end of chapter 179. Oh gosh, y'all. I'm sorry, that was a fake. That was a fake cry. Some of the top comments. I love that everyone else around Jiwon, even Parbo, also got a better life and second time because of how she impacted them. Except obviously Trash 1 and Trash 2 and their family. Because she gave them a chance to change and they didn't. So that's their own fault. And then let's see. In the Korean Raws, Joran was referred to as general manager. Reminder that Sumin is still rooting in jail in a grave while Jiwon is living her dream. As she should. So cute. I love the little nose bite. That part was cute. I'm so glad there is a happy end to this story. And nothing better happened no matter what happened in the past. There was a time skip and now they have 3 boys, but maybe Jiwon wants another girl and there's still time for it. Hee hee. Okay. Oh, so that chapter was really sweet. I agree with the person who said the nose bite. That was adorable. Jiwon became rich on her own. Yes, because she had the insight of the future, but she was smart with her investments and she used her own money, even though she's rich with from being married to Ji Hyuk. She invested her own money into all the bakcha coins and everything. So go off, queen, pop off, queen. And she's retiring. And she's about to go off and do what she wants, which is everybody already told her at work. It's every office worker's dream. It's every worker's dream, honestly, not just office workers. But we'll be back with chapter 180 in A Child Who Resembles Her. And we're back with chapter 180, A Child Who Resembles Her. A cold wave from the Arctic froze the entire country of Korea. It wasn't a figurative expression. Everything really was frozen. Ankle-length padded jumpers and fur boots became the national uniform for everyone. Warm coffee was brought to melt icicle hands that had frozen inside gloves. Eggs that were brought to include in a pot of warm egg soup on the dinner table became ice eggs. If you turned on the water for fear of freezing the water pipe, the water froze as it poured out. And if you didn't dry your hair properly, it froze as well. Well, dang. So that was why Ji-won was so busy. She had so many places to go, things to see, and things to do. She even praised herself for giving birth and raising children early without meaning to. Using the top of the Samsudong building, a gift from Chairman Yu, as an office, Ji-won worked really hard like a cow. I'm exhausted. The exhaustion that had been temporarily kicked out after mixing with coffee came back as soon as it saw a chance. Ji-won lay down on the large wooden desk, groaning, and then adjusted her posture at the sound of knocking on the door. "Come in." A woman in a black pantsuit and low-heeled loafers entered, slightly bowed her head. It was Hyun-jin-oh, her secretary. She was the cousin of Hyun-jun-oh and was attached to Ji-won like they were one. "Oh, sorry to disturb you, Chairman Kang, but it's almost time for your schedule." "Already?" "Yes, I'll get everything ready within 10 minutes. "Thank you." After Hyunjin left, Ji-won lay down on the desk for a few minutes and stood up. "Let's go. This is the last thing for today, and then I'll go home." While there was wailing here and there due to the decline of bakja coins, Ji-won had already sold 6,000 out of the 9,000 at its highest price point, so she was laid back. The remaining 3,000 coins were reserved for a future that even Ji-won didn't know about. It didn't bother her if she thought of the bakja coins as something that wasn't even there to begin with. The total amount of money from selling 6,000 bakja coins was 1,680. Naturally, the word billion was added afterwards. She rich, y'all. Ji-won invested some of the money with the advice of Chairman Yu and experts. With the rest, she established a foundation. That was the beginning of the JJ Foundation. A white sedan left the parking lot of the building and joined the flow of the road. Today's destination was the children's ward in Jeonju-do. The schedule was to look around the hospital and the person ahead of a decision for a sponsorship. As Ji-won looked outside as she were enjoying a drive for the first time in a long time, the car arrived at the hospital. Ji-won purposely came when doctors made rounds, so she was able to look around the hospital without being noticed. Since the budget was divided into facilities, manpower, and direct sponsorship of treatment costs, coming to the site in person was essential. Little children were very sick here and there all throughout the wards. There was a deep shadow over the parents' faces, even when they laughed occasionally. Ji-won completely forgot about her fatigue and pressed down on her painful chest. Children grew very fast. That means that their illnesses grew fast as well. A cancer that was small until the examination may grow in a month or two, the doctor explained in a calm voice as he walked down the hall. He continued, "That is why one of the parents must give up on their work and stay at the hospital at all times. Even that is considered lucky if someone is a single parent. They have to somehow make money and come to the hospital to sleep as well. In fact, there are cases where some people are in urgent need of treatment themselves, but they work 10 hours a day and take care of their children once they get off work. Her dad was like that. Jiwon was never seriously ill enough to be hospitalized, but when she got the flu and had a fever, suffering for a few days, her dad would come back after working all day in the scorching sun. He would take care of his daughter all night. Her throat tightened as she remembered her dad getting up when she groaned in pain while sleeping. He always asked, "Are you okay? Want some water?" Then sponsoring treatment costs won't be enough for families like that. It will help greatly, but yes, it would be nice if they didn't need to worry about their livelihood, even if it were a small amount. Each small bed had its own story. Still, the children laughed, they whined, acted silly, and played with dolls and spinning tops. After walking past all their rooms, the last place Jiwon arrived was the neonatal room. This area was different from the one Jiwon saw after giving birth to her 3 sons. It was a place where small, red children fought lonely battles with hoses, IVs, and survival devices hanging from all over their bodies. Most of the parents standing in front of the rooms were crying, or they were on the verge of crying. They're so small, so tiny. Secretary Hyunjin was silent. Jiwon turned around with tearful eyes. Hyunjin's face was already covered with black tears because her mascara was smudged. She's usually so cool-headed when she's working. Jiwon couldn't help but smile at Hyunjin's emotional side. Just then, a young nurse approached her and spoke carefully. "Excuse me, but are you Chairman Jiwon Kang?" "Yes, I'm Jiwon Kang." "Oh, I was right. Nice to meet you. I'm Min Jong Chow, and I'm a nurse who works here," the nurse said, whispering. Then she pointed inside the neonatal room. "Do you see the baby at the very end?" Like the other babies, there was a baby sleeping quietly with an IV in her too small body. Jiwon squinted and read the name of the bed aloud. "Ara?" "Yes, she's a month old and has aortic contortion. She really needs surgery." The nurse pressed a hand to her chest as if her heart ached just thinking about it. "She was born premature. Her mother passed away while giving birth. We don't know who the father is, and there's no marriage registration. Her grandmother is the only family she has left, but after what happened to her daughter, she's become so weak she can't even walk." Oh dear. Jiwon looked closely at the baby, who was much smaller than the other babies her age. How did such a small and delicate child become burdened with these misfortunes as soon as she was born? Nurse Ming Jeon continued, "Not only is the cost of the surgery a problem, but we also don't have anywhere to send her afterward. I know it's against the rules to say this to a sponsor, but I was in charge of Ara when I first came to the neonatal intensive care unit. She's my first patient. When I heard you were coming, I waited for you all day, Chairman Kang." The nurse eventually wiped away her tears quietly. A premature baby with a heart disease must have been able to live so far thanks to the medical staff who cared for her this much. "Don't cry. I understand what you're trying to say." Jiwon spoke quietly without taking her eyes off of the baby named Ara. Apart from the hospital sponsorship, the JJ Foundation will cover the full cost of the baby's surgery and treatment. Please schedule the surgery as soon as possible, and don't worry, the JJ nursery will take her in after she's fully recovered. It was a foundation established to live the new life that her father had granted her. It was to make her life more meaningful and to use the enormous wealth that had come to her with a new life to help others. Jiwon decided on Ara's sponsorship on the spot without hesitation. No matter how strong the cold wave was, it would be pushed out by spring someday. The spring of 2019 had blossomed early. It was only about 4 or 5 days earlier that year, but a delicate flower that bloomed only about 10 days after such a harsh winter required a lot of courage. It must have been around this time, in a hospital room where no one came. She looked out the window at the cherry blossoms that would be the last ones in her life. A faint smile had appeared on Jiwon's lips. It's already spring. Even though the cold wind was so strong, Hyunjin sat next to Jiwon diligently, checking her schedule, but she suddenly raised her cheek after hearing her words. Yes, ma'am. I heard on the news that the flowering period will be earlier than usual. Was it a gift for all the lives that overcame the cold? Jiwon sighed as she looked at Ara's picture stored on her phone. Hopefully Ara, who overcame this harsh winter, could safely undergo the surgery tomorrow and meet the flowers outside the hospital. Oh. Ji-hyuk felt like Jiwon had changed recently. It was not that she had changed as a person, but rather it felt like she had a huge dilemma on her mind. She sighed during her meals and thought hard about something while touching Ji-young's feet, their youngest of 2 years. Jiwon sighed even while lying on the bed side by side with Ji-hyuk. Ji-hyuk swept back Jiwon's hair from his arm and kissed her forehead. That was your 14th sigh today. How did you know? I counted every time you sighed. It always felt good to hear Jiwon giggle. It sounded like she was whispering. Ji-hyuk fixed the cozy blanket covering them and gently pulled Jiwon into his arms. What's wrong? The surgery is tomorrow. Do you remember that baby I talked about before? Ara? Yes. I don't know how her surgery is going to go. There's no one to wait for her, so I want to go, but I just don't have the time. What time is it tomorrow? 10 in the morning? Ji-hyuk went over tomorrow's work schedule in his head. His afternoon schedule was tight, but he could manage to make time in the morning. However, he purposely didn't say that to Jiwon. He knew she would be very apologetic if he delayed his work because of her. The next morning, Ji-hyuk headed to the hospital. Ara was even smaller than he expected. She was just a little bigger than when their youngest had been born. This heartbreakingly small baby was getting heart surgery. Ji-hyuk realized why Jiwon had sighed so much yesterday as he stood still looking at Ara. Then he asked the nurse, "Why isn't she crying?" She's been crying this whole time because she couldn't eat anything before the surgery. She fell asleep from exhaustion. Did she know they were talking about her? Ara opened her eyes sleepily. She still didn't cry. She turned her head towards Ji-hyuk and smiled happily. Her purity and loveliness flew like an arrow and struck directly into his heart. Instantly, the baby he'd met for the first time today, who he had never even seen a picture of, jumped into his heart like that. "Aw, what a sweetie," the nurse said, absent-mindedly making a face that went back and forth between loving and pity. Ji-hyuk put off all of his afternoon schedule and sat in a hospital chair waiting for Ara's surgery to end. He waited for hours and hours without leaving. He just wanted to do it. He had a feeling he wouldn't be able to leave until he heard a doctor come out of the operating room and say the surgery was a success. Whew. He sighed for the 15th time like Jiwon yesterday. A pair of feet in white sneakers stopped in front of him. "Honey?" When he lifted his head, Jiwon was looking at him with surprise in her eyes. Ji-hyuk stood up slowly and embraced Jiwon. "Honey, what about work? You're skipping again, aren't you?" she said. "Chol-hong will take care of it." Ji-hyuk stood for a while, feeling Jiwon's body heat and scent before he sighed again. The lights indicated that the operation was still in progress, and it felt too heavy. It had not been extinguished for hours. "I saw Ara go into surgery. You don't have to worry too much." "You're here because of what I said yesterday, aren't you?" "I'm glad I came." Ji-hyuk took Jiwon's hands out of habit and sat down in a chair. Suddenly his heart ached as he thought of Jiwon, who had once walked around with IVs hanging from her arm. "I keep thinking of Ara," Jiwon mumbled quietly as she leaned on Ji-hyuk's shoulders. "She must be in pain. People who've been in pain know that what hurts more than the physical pain is the pain of the heart. A heart can only be cured by another heart, but lonely people can't cure it, so their wounds keep festering. As Jiwon listened to her own voice, she gradually learned why she was so worried about the small child. They resemble one another, the loneliness of being abandoned by one side and the person to love them passing away was similar to Jiwon's history. The IVs that were attached in order to survive were similar too, as well as the poverty that they couldn't handle. The two people who knew what loneliness was sat leaning on each other's shoulders for a while. They stayed like that until the green light went off and the doors to the operating room opened. And that's the end. I kind of got choked up at the end because of I was starting to like see the parallels and why Jiwon was so called to her. Oh my gosh. Okay, so some of the top comments. They were already her parents. They are already her parents. It's beautiful how Ji-hyuk loved her since the moment he laid eyes on her. He is getting a daughter that he can spoil to no end, just like he wanted. I agree with everyone. I feel they will definitely adopt Ara. I hope she makes it through surgery and eventually gets to go home with them. Ji-hyuk should tell Jiwon about the past so she knows that in that moment when she thought she was abandoned, someone was there for her who loved her. I will always love reading this. I might not be able to read it again because the website I'm reading it on is going away and I haven't been able to find it anywhere else. But I can listen to it. They are totally going to adopt her, and Ji-hyuk will finally get a daughter to spoil Silly. OMG, yes, please adopt little Ara. But yes, this chapter was really good, very emotional. I really liked it. I thought we were going to be smooth sailing, all happy, and then they got me. This chapter got me. The next chapter is going to be chapter 181 after April 10th, 2019. So back then, that would have been the date in Jiwon's previous life where she died. I do believe. So we'll see. But this is the end of this video. They got me. That last video got me. But if you like the video, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Let me know what chapter was your favorite. Mine is finally our girlie getting her office romance. Well, wait, no, that was the last chapter. Us getting Pang's story. Us getting Pang's perspective and finding out that he was the reason they got together. Like he kind of was the reason they got together, but he was the reason. He really was. Like we kind of thought that he was talking to them and they kind of thought, but now we know he was talking to them. But yes. Yes. But all right, thanks for listening. I'll be back with the next video. Okay, bye. And we're back with the last chapter of the main story from the web novel Marry My Husband, chapter 181, after April 10th, 2019. I thought we'd never make it. Well, we did it. Okay. The doctor's face was difficult to read as he left the operating room. They wanted to know if the baby, who was so small she could fit into Ji-hyuk's hands, was all right after the long surgery. Ji-won swallowed dryly and waited for the doctor's mouth to open. The doctor smiled with a tired look on his face. The surgery, he started, was extremely successful. It's all thanks to you, Chairman Kang. A smile of relief spread on Ji-won and Ji-hyuk's faces at the same time. Ji-won was so proud of Ara for enduring heart disease and the difficult surgery. She wanted to hug the beautiful baby tightly to her chest and bounce her up and down. Thank you. Thank you so much, Doctor. Thank you for bringing our Ara back to life. At that moment, the doctor really looked like a god. Ji-won continued to bow and thank the doctors and nurses. But her happiness was fleeting. Ji-won started crying as she paced nervously when she saw Ara coming out of the operating room. Oh no, poor Ara, she sniffed. She must be in so much pain. What do we do, Ji-hyuk? The poor baby. A blood-soaked gauze was thickly attached from the baby's chest to her navel. There was a hose stuck in that small nose and mouth, too. There were so many kinds of machines on both sides of her shoulders that it was difficult to tell what was what. On her right leg, which was thinner than Ji-won's wrist, there was an IV injection. Blood from a blood pack fell restlessly into the line connecting it. Even if the machines were covered with a handkerchief with colorful clouds, the pain could not be covered completely. Ji-won had seen all kinds of deaths and stories while she was in the cancer ward, but the pain of a youngling was a sadness greater than any of those. She'll get better soon. The doctor said the surgery was successful after all. A similar feeling could be found in Ji-hyuk's voice as he strongly embraced Ji-won's shoulders. Everyone felt sorry for a young child, but it was especially heartbreaking for parents who had children. Even a stranger's baby looked beautiful and adorable like their own. The baby's pain felt like their own child's as well. Ji-won and Ji-hyuk went to the hospital every day to see Ara, even without agreeing to it beforehand. If one of them really couldn't make it, the other went and took a picture to send to the other. They cried, watching her poor limbs get thinner little by little because she couldn't eat anything. They smiled at the doctor's words that the surgical area was healing well. They waited patiently for Ara to come out of the intensive care unit. They prepared pretty clothes, shoes, rattles, and dolls to give to Ara as gifts when she got healthier. They collected them in a box one by one. The baby, who couldn't talk, must have understood the couple's feelings. Ara liked Ji-won and Ji-hyuk so much that she flapped her short arms when she saw them. Her recovery was also much faster than what the doctor had expected, so she could soon remove the hose from her airway and breathe on her own. After a while, she was able to drink formula and she recovered enough to come out of the intensive care unit. On that day, Ara was transferred to a general room. Ji-won and Ji-hyuk met her without a glass wall between them. As soon as Ara saw the two, she flapped her arms and started babbling excitedly. Her voice was so pretty that Ji-won felt like her heart was aching. Goo goo gaga, mama. Really? You're happy to see them? The nurse interpreted Ara's babbles. It seems like Ara recognized you two. Would you like to hold her? Can we? You really have to hold sick babies often. Ara didn't have any parents to hold her, so the nurses have been taking turns. Ji-won reached out her arms and held Ara for the first time. She was so thin it seemed like she could break by squeezing too tightly. Simultaneously, she was so light the wind could probably carry her away. However, the heart under the surgical scar that would have had for the rest of her The surgical scar that she would have for the rest of her life beat very vigorously. She's beautiful. Jiwon's heart swelled just like the first time she'd held the twins. She carried Ara for a long time and made eye contact with her before giving her to Ji-hyuk. Try holding her, honey. When it came to looking after a baby, Ji-hyuk was more than accustomed to it. However, he felt nervous holding Ara. It was because she was small and delicate. Ara gave a babbling laugh. Hee 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 hee. Ji-hyuk also laughed along with her. She really is beautiful. Do you know why? At that moment, the couple knew they were thinking the same thing. They didn't discuss it out loud. They didn't need to. They could each hear each other's thoughts just by looking into their eyes. Because she's our daughter. Exactly. Ara curled her small fingers around Jiwon's extended index finger. It was her first greeting to her mom. Let's get better soon so we can bring you home. You'll meet your brothers with mommy and daddy. An emergency meeting was held at Chairman Yu's house. The participants were Jiwon, Ji-hyuk, Miss Cha, Chairman Yu, Ji-yoon, Ji-won, and Ji-young. Among them, the three sons seemed to want to speed things up so they could go out to the garden to play. However, they did not dare run out in front of their scary great-grandfather, so they sat upright. An adoption? Chairman Yu repeated seriously. An adoption, huh? It was a difficult matter to readily decide in this great family. While Chairman Yu was deep in thought with a heavy expression, Ji-won wiggled her finger on her knees, feeling apologetic for some reason. If you two have made the decision, it's not my place to interfere. Chairman Yu said, opening his mouth again. I'm sure you two are already aware of what a huge responsibility it is to take care of a human being. And on top of that, you will need to love your adopted child as if they were your own. We are aware of this. Yes. Ji-hyuk and Ji-won answered at the same time. They already had 3 children. Bringing a child, and a sick one at that, and raising her together would require a strong determination. What about you two, Un and Won? What do you think of this? The question went to the twins. The twins made eye contact with each other for a moment. Ji-yoon cleared his throat as if he had been chosen as the speaker through the short negotiation. We would like a sister, great-grandfather, Ji-yoon said, speaking maturely. We even wrote a letter for her for when she comes home. Four-year-old Ji-young was too young to have a say, but he still added a word after his older brothers. I'm a bro too. Ji-won wanted to correct him and tell him he was a brother, but she let it slide. Chairman Yu was still not pleased with the adoption. It wasn't that he didn't like Ara. It was that it was extremely hard to raise a healthy child, let alone bring in a child who was sick from birth and take responsibility for her. Miss Cha understood Chairman Yu's concern and spoke quietly. I think we should have faith in our kids, sir. You don't need to be related by blood to become a family. Ji-hyuk and I are family, just like Hugh-yeon and Ji-won are as well. Ara can become a member of our family too. She'll grow healthier, eating our tofu and bean sprouts. There were no parents who would win over their children and no grandfathers who could win over their grandchildren. In other words, Chairman Yu had no choice but to allow it from the beginning. It was spring when early cherry blossoms covered the streets of Seoul pink. The flowers were beautiful, even when the clear and sunny sky was covered with fine dust. When the wind blew, delicate petals danced and secretly landed on people's heads, shoulders, and bags. April 10th, 2019. The day Ji-won had once wilted tragically like a fallen flower petal, the youngest daughter, who resembled her, started a new life. Green leaves grew from the places where the cherry blossoms once were. With their tanned faces, Ji-yoon, Ji-won, and Ji-young ran around the garden like squirrels, looking forward to when their dad would fill the inflatable pool with water. It was summer. I'm home! I'm home! When the twins returned home from their after-school academy, the whole house sounded like it was about to collapse. Thank goodness they lived in a house, because if it had been an apartment, Ji-won would have spent all her time bowing to their neighbors and apologizing with gift baskets in hand. What about Ara, Mom? I made this for Ara. The eldest, Jiyoon, took out the project he folded with red-colored paper. It was a coochie catcher. Cootie catcher. A cootie catcher, or origami, where you inserted your thumb and index finger to make the snout open and close. Go wash your hands first and make sure to use soap. What do you boys want for snacks? French toast. Spaghetti? Do rock, paper, scissors while you guys wash up. Jiwon skillfully sent the twins to the bathroom and prepared a formula bottle for Aura. It had been twice as hard to raise them initially, but after a while, there were more pros to them being twins. For example, in moments like this, the two acted more maturely since they were older brothers and insisted on taking care of Aura. The second-born Jiwon popped out of the bathroom like a bullet and shouted, "I won, Mom! We want French toast!" "Okay, toast it is. Who wants to feed Aura today?" Jiyoon popped out after his brother and jumped up and down with his hands high in the air. Me! You fed her yesterday. It's my turn now. Do rock, paper, scissors." This time, Jiwon won the game of rock, paper, scissors, while Jiwon excitedly fed Aura. Jiwon quickly broke an egg to make the toast. Jiyoon brought out the origami he had made to play with it. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm a frilled lizard. It's animal quiz showtime. Aura burst out laughing when she saw the frilled lizard, something they had learned from their aunt. As a result of her laughter, milk flowed down the corners of her mouth. Jiwon wiped that part with a handkerchief like a mature adult. "She's so cute." Meow. Before he knew it, Pang came up next to them and settled by Aura's bedside. Pang's fur was no longer as smooth and abundant as it used to be. There were empty spots, like when he was a kitten and shed for the first time. He even had gray hair in some places. He no longer attacked the mouse fishing rod ferociously. When the family was away, he slept in a sunny spot all the time. When the family was home, he walked slowly behind them or spent time sitting on their laps. In the afternoon, Ji-hyuk left work early and came home with a large bag of chicken in one hand and Ji-young in the other. Since there were 3 hungry boys, one of the 2 bags were never enough. Their family, where the sons ate 2 portions and the parents ate 1-2, was a very welcome guest at the nearby chicken restaurant. "What's with the chicken? I was going to make dinner tonight. I wanted to have some beer with you." "Oh, I was thinking the same thing," Jiwon said, giggling. The weather was nice enough that they didn't need to turn on the air conditioner. 6 people and 1 animal opened the living room windows and enjoyed the cool, early summer breeze to the fullest. The gentle breeze carried the fresh smell of grass, and Pang was busy chasing a fly that had sneaked in from somewhere. Ji-yoon was having fun as he enjoyed his golden chicken leg. "It feels like we're camping, Dad." "Let's play soccer after this, Dad," Jiwon said, his eyes shining. It was his dream to become a soccer player. Ji-hyuk shook his head and gestured to Jiwon with his eyes. Wan, did you 2 finish your English studies for today?" she asked. The twins were at a loss for words at Jiwon's question. "You know all medical terms are in English, right, Un? How will you become a doctor if you don't study? And Wan, you heard that soccer player speak in English, right? I thought you wanted to be like him." "I do! I want to become a great soccer player like him and join a team in the UK," Jiwon yelled energetically when his favorite soccer player was brought up. Jiwon laughed, but she held it in. She shook her chopsticks as if she was being generous to the boys. "Okay, I'll let you boys off the hook just for today. You can play soccer with Dad, but you have to study hard tomorrow." "Yay! Mom's the best." "I want to play soccer too, Mommy," Ji-young said. As soon as they finished eating the chicken, a 2-on-2 soccer game commenced. Jiwon sat in the rocking chair by the living room window and watched the exciting and adorable game. Pang finally caught the fly and hopped up into the chair to nuzzle into her side. "Meow, meow." "Of course I'll hug you, my pretty little kitty." Ara looked outside from the rocking bed right next to Jiwon. In the garden, her husband and 3 sons ran around kicking a soccer ball. Somewhere a grasshopper chirped and Pang purred happily on her lap. Goal! It's a goal! Goal! Ji-hyuk must have gotten the first goal in. He kissed the ring on the 4th finger on his left hand and then blew it to Jiwon. Smiling brightly, Jiwon also kissed her ring and blew it back to Ji-hyuk. They were not wealthy people. Jiwon spent almost all of her assets on the management and investment for the foundation, and Ji-hyuk brought home only a fixed salary from his company. It was neither too much nor lacking for a family of 6 to live off of. I'm so happy, right, Pang? Meow. But Jiwon had everything she needed to be happy. Enough money to live comfortably, 3 healthy sons, a beautiful youngest daughter, an old cat, and a husband who would die for her. Honey! Ji-hyuk stopped dribbling and ran when Jiwon put her hand to her mouth to call him over. He looked sexy with his hair already sweaty and stuck to his forehead. What is it? Do you need something? He asked. Exactly. Jiwon closed her eyes and stuck her lips out. Ji-hyuk showered those lips with loud kisses. I love you. I love you too. Ew, gross. Why are you two kissing? Ji-hyuk ran back to the booing twins. Jiwon watched them along with Ara as she stroked Pang. She didn't know what would happen in the future from this point on, but that was even better. Now she could look forward to every single day as she grew older with Ji-hyuk and her loved ones. Marry my husband. The end. And then there's an author's note. Ji-hyuk and Jiwon wanted to say thank you for all of your support. They're grateful even now. I couldn't ask Hyo-yeon because she got drunk while handing out wedding invitations, and Eunho, who was busy cooking a hangover stew for her. Joran and Jeonsuk went to a water park with Yeonji, so I couldn't ask them either. I will give them your applause, so you can leave now. Goodbye. And that's the end of Chapter 181 and Marry My Husband, the web novel. Oh, the ending was perfect. I loved how it ended with Jiwon being able to reflect and think about having a happy future and all of her loved ones. Some of the comments. I started this story on webtoon and finished it here. I love these characters living for each other, their family, and their community. Thank you, author, for letting the good guys win. I'm going to miss them. I can't believe that it's exclamation point. I'm going to cry. I feel like I need to start it over already. I wasn't ready to say goodbye. I loved it so much. I think they meant over, but it wasn't in there, but we get you what you're saying. One of the best stories I have ever read. I'm sorry it's finished, but the ending was perfect. Yeah, that was a great ending. It was lovely. The beginning was heart-wrenching, and they who shall not be named filled me with fury, but being able to steep in the happiness of our main couples was the absolute best. How more complete can this get? Yet I still want more. I'm greedy, I know, but I can't help but miss this lovely, wonderful, beautiful story. I feel blessed for getting a chance to read this without having to wait years for my Korean level to not be crap. Thank you, author, translators, and the team. Yes. Thank you. And just when it seemed it would continue forever, I'll really miss this one. I love this story. I love a romance, and this one had it all. So happy Jiwon and Ji-hyuk got their happily ever after. That's all I wanted for them, but it didn't hurt that the scum in the story got theirs too. Alright, so that is it. Okay, and that's the end of this video. If you liked it, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Let me know how'd you like this novel overall. If you've read the webtoon, let me know how you liked it. If you watched the drama, let me know if you liked it. Next up, I'm going to be doing the side story for Hugyeon and Eunho, and it's Marry My Sister-in-Law. It's 7 chapters. I'm just going to do them all in one video, all chapters in one video. So it will be coming soon. And then after that video, be on the lookout. I'm going to do a reaction, maybe recap of the Japanese version of Marry My Husband. And then I'm going to redo My Demon. And I'm going to do, I'm going to restart up one of the webtoons that I stopped because I didn't like it, but I think I should just finish it. I think it's My Seductive Wife. I don't even think I finished reading the webtoon because it kind of annoyed me, and webtoon changed their stuff around where you had to pay for it, and I was like, but I found it somewhere else, so I'm gonna start it again. But thank you so much for sticking with me for the journey for the main story of the web novel, and I will talk to you later. Bye.